Hello and welcome to another video by Easy Academy. In this particular video, I am going to be covering OpenAI as well as all the models, the features and the capabilities that are available for you to use when you're performing your AI projects and some of the tools you are looking to select. Now, in this particular video, we'll talk about different models, what they're able to do. We're also going to talk about some of the different APIs that you can leverage. You may see this character on the slide right now. This is from one of my favorite movies called The Big Fat Greek Wedding. In this particular movie, this particular character is very convinced that Windex can solve everything. Now, you may be in the same boat as him, where you believe that ChatGPT is capable of solving every AI problem you have, but that's not actually true. That is what this video is going to be covering, helping you to understand all the different capabilities, all the different APIs, and all the tools and configurations that are available to you from OpenAI. So let me get started, and we're going to be covering them one by one. We'll talk about the different models and offerings that are available, and I'll also show you some of the different integration opportunities that are available either from the UI, from the libraries, as well as leveraging things like REST APIs, maybe Postman or any other programming language that can support REST operations that you can use to send HTTP requests to OpenAI and then get back a response to perform your task inside your applications. So the integration opportunities will cover the different software development kits that are available in different programming languages, and it will also show you how to use the HTTP endpoints to interact with it. Now, if you're new to my channel, please feel free to share this video with anyone you think would find it useful. If you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and then click on the notification icon so that when new videos come up, you will be aware of it, and then you can also like the videos that you're watching, and that will help recommend similar videos to other people that are looking for similar content. And if you are on Twitter, you can follow me at Easy Academy, and you can also check out my website at easyacademy.com. Thank you very much. Now, taking a look at the OpenAI models, we have a feature called text completion. So this is very useful in scenarios where you want to send a question or a prompt and get a response. We have the code completion, which is useful for analyzing programs, computer programs, like maybe a Java, TypeScript, JavaScript, SQL, and all those things. And then you have the image generation that allows you to send in a prompt and either modify an image or create a new image. Fine-tuning allows you to take an existing model and then customize it for your own specific use case. Embeddings is helpful when we're trying to break down a particular word or set of words into vectors, which I will explain later what that's about. And then this is very useful in finding how similar one set of documents or word, a paragraph is similar to another one. When you're trying to find similarities, we can use embeddings to do this. And then moderation is kind of like a checkpoint that helps us to understand when we are trying to send in a prompt, if the prompt is appropriate or not. And that's what we're going to be covering, all the different categories. And then I will do a deep dive into each one and cover them as we go along. Now, for text completion, this is very useful, like I said, when you're trying to put in a question or put in a prompt and then you want to get a response. ChatGPT is very good at this, but this particular text completion API from OpenAI allows you to do this. If you also have something in English and you want to see that phrase or that sentence or that paragraph in a different language, you can also ask it to translate that particular phrase to the target language and it will do so. And if you're trying to get a factual response or summarize a particular paragraph, this particular API is very useful in doing that. Some of the models that are available include the ADA, the Babbage, the Curie model, and the Da Vinci model. In terms of complexity, in terms of how large or how advanced they are, the smallest one is the first one, and the largest one is the Da Vinci model in that particular order. Now, they are very useful in different things. So if you're trying to perform very simple parsing or formatting of text or classification, which means putting particular documents or sentences into categories or labels, then you can use the ADA model for that. And one thing you're going to notice with all these different models is that as you are moving from ADA to Babbage to Curie model to Da Vinci model, the time it takes to analyze the prompt or analyze the contents you are asking it to do takes longer. But as the time increases, it also has more capabilities. The other thing that is not really talked about a lot is that the ADA model is generally cheaper, so you are able to do more things with less money. But the Da Vinci model, typically, the larger the model is, the more expensive it becomes, and the longer it may take you to give a response. So that's one of the things you might want to consider when you are trying to pick a model. If you're doing very simple tasks, then it's good to pick the simplest model that will solve that instead of trying to use the most complicated model to solve the simple task. Now, let's take a look at code completion. Code completion is another model. This is being used in something like Git Copilot, where you can put in a comment, and then based on that comment, it is able to generate either a code in a specific language, or it can generate to you SQL or SQL syntax to either to insert, to update, to delete, or to modify a particular row. So if you're looking to turn a particular comment to code in any programming language, the Codex model is very helpful for that. You may also present it with code, and it will be able to analyze what the code is about and then give you feedback, improve the code, write unit tests, identify libraries that you can bring into a particular program to solve the specific task, help you to figure out which algorithm to use, and you can also add documentation or modify existing code. That is what this particular feature and set of API is able to help you do. Now, if you are looking for the models that are available, the two of them would be the Cushman model and the Da Vinci model. Da Vinci model is the more recent one. That one is larger, and the Cushman one is the earlier one. That one is slightly smaller. And the cost and the complexity, as well as the inferencing time, is slightly different with these two models. Now, the next one that I want to cover is image generation. So if you're trying to create a particular image, if you're trying to modify an existing image, if you're trying to just generate random images or custom images based on prompt, then the DALL-E model is what you use for that. So that one can help you to create images from scratch, modify existing images, or get variations of a particular image. Now, when it comes to taking an existing model and adding capabilities or fine-tuning it or customizing that particular model to solve a particular scenario that you have for your business, that is where you use the fine-tuning API. So with this fine-tuning API, what you are able to do is you specify the model that you want to customize, you give it certain specific prompts, you give it the output or the completion of those prompts. You need like quite a lot of these examples. So when you show it these specific examples of the prompt and the type of responses you are expecting, this would help to customize any of the other text completion models in a way that is specific to your use case. So every business has a use case that is relevant to them and specific. You're not going to use real estate prompts maybe in healthcare or in oil and gas or things like that. So if you have a specific use case that is relevant just for your business or your scenario, then the fine-tuning API allows you to upload a list and a combination pair of prompts, which is the question, so to speak, and the answers, the completions. And when you do this, you are able to upload this to OpenAI and then get back a custom model that you can use for your own scenario. Now, this is very helpful because you end up with higher quality than what you will get with the out-of-the-box version of the model. You can also it also allows you to reduce what you have to put in as a prompt, which consumes less token overall. So if you have like thousands of requests coming in, this can become very expensive. So once you have the customized model, you can now be able to use the resulting model to send in less prompts, which would, on average and in the long term, end up saving you money than always uploading these large prompts where you want to have like 5 questions and examples of the question and answer, and then send that in as an input and then expect the output to come. So that's one of the things that this API allows you to do. And in general, once you have the customized model, it should be able to give you a response much faster because the prompt is less and it's already customized to your own scenario. Let's take a look at the embedding API and what this allows you to do. The embedding API, an embedding is typically a representation of a particular word in terms of a number, like a floating point number. So something like maybe Apple could be converted to the number equivalent of that. And then once you are able to convert these words or tokens into embeddings into a number format, we can now use these embeddings to compare between one set of text and another set of text. And what does that allow you to do? Well, this allows you to find relevance when you are performing search across multiple documents. Documents that are similar will contain the same type of embeddings. And then if you are also trying to group different documents or different text, different pieces of text, different essays, different reviews, different product descriptions, basically anything that has to do with text, if you want to group them, or what we call clustering, then embeddings allows you to do that. Because once these pieces of text or these bodies of text are converted to embeddings, we are now able to use the computer and use the computer programs to analyze and find how similar these documents are. And then documents that contain the same similar tokens will be bundled or grouped into small clusters. And you can find that the other thing that this allows us to do is once you have identified these similarities, it also makes it easier for us to recommend certain things to certain people. So you may visit a particular website and you may take a look at a particular product, and then that product has product description. Now, if we have the embeddings for that particular product description, we can use certain algorithms and calculations behind the scene to find out which other products have similar embeddings to the product embedding that you are looking at right now. And then based on that, those products and those items may also be recommended to you. This could apply to videos, it could apply to products you buy on e-commerce website or pretty much anything. But once we have the embeddings, we're able to find out what other product, what other item are similar to the one you're looking at right now, and then make recommendations to that particular person. And then if something is too different, it means that it has embedding that does not fit into the family of the cluster or the one that you're looking at right now. So this helps us identify things that are outliers or anomalies, and that can be very helpful as well. And you can also use this to find out how diverse the set of documents you have are, depending on the number of clusters or number of groupings that you have. And it can help us to do that. Now, the last one I wanted to mention is classifying something. So if you have identified a group, if you have identified a particular type of sentiment, you might be able to use this embeddings API to recognize which group or which class a particular document belongs to. And that is very helpful to do that. Now, the next one I want to talk about is the moderation API. The moderation API is useful as a checkpoint, and it allows you to proceed if the content or the prompt is okay or clean. And if the prompt is not okay, then it can stop you from proceeding to generate content or images or anything that would be inappropriate. So we use the moderation API to check to see if a particular prompt or input or token is in compliance with the policy. And if it is, then it will allow you to proceed. If it is not appropriate, then it will allow you to see what is wrong with it. Is it violence? Is it nudity? Is it inappropriate text? But basically, they have certain categories that you can find out what inappropriate category it belongs to and which policy it violates. If it's a hate speech or anything like that, and it would help the developers to stop and filter the content. Now, let's talk about integration opportunities. So you can use the user interface to interact with OpenAI. You can use language-specific software development kits. So these are programming libraries that are available in specific languages that you can use to interact with OpenAI. The two that they support is the one for Python and the one for JavaScript or TypeScript. So if you are using these two language families, you can use Python 3.7 and higher, or you can use TypeScript and JavaScript, and you should be able to interact with the supported version of the software development kits. Now, there are also other community libraries from other languages like C#, .NET, Java, and so on that you can use to interact with the OpenAI interface. And then finally, if your language of choice is not supported by the language-specific SDKs provided by OpenAI or the community versions, then you can also use whatever language you want to use. That could be C++, it could be anything, and then you communicate directly with the REST API of OpenAI. And then that's pretty much everything. So if you like this video, please let me know what you're looking for in the future, and then you can subscribe to the channel. You can share the link of the video to someone else you think would be interested. You can also follow me on Twitter and check out my website at easyacademy.com. Any questions you may have about anything that I spoke about today, please put it as a comment in the description, and I will look that up and I would respond, or I may create a different video that elaborates further or gives you more clarity for that particular question. I thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much.